In this lesson, we will finish the setup process of our initial joint chain. To get started, let's say we go ahead and grab the shin bone. What I'd like to do is pull it back in the z-axis just a bit. You can see how our toe bones aren't quite lined up the way they should be. So we'll hold down Control and we'll use the Joint Orient Z channel to correct this. Much better. All right, fantastic. Now, let's say we go ahead and finish up by coming up with a clear naming convention for our joints. Something that is concise, right to the point. What we'll do is go ahead and open up our outliner view. And from there, we'll start with the thigh bone. So since we will be skinning geometry to this bone object, what we can do is use a prefix of bind. And we also know that it's on the left half of our model, so let's identify that by using an L. So that's going to be bind underscore L underscore. And then we also know that this is our thigh bone, correct? So we'll go ahead and add thigh to the name. And then a 01, which lets us know that this object is unique. For example, if we were to duplicate this joint with Control D, you'll notice that it now has a suffix of 02, and that either lets us know that, hey, this is a duplicate and we have to remove it, or perhaps we need it and we just need to make sure it gets renamed. So in this case, we can go ahead and delete it. But I really enjoy a naming convention like this because it's very easy to search for objects. For example, if we need to find all of the joints that we will skin to, it's just a matter of going to our Select by Name field at the top. Let's make sure it's set to Select by Name. Right here on the status bar, and we can type in bind, asterisk, and then we'll add a 01, just to make sure that only that object gets selected and nothing more. Sometimes we might also have constraint selected if we don't add enough to our name. So now when we hit enter, you'll notice that we're going to grab that joint and any other joints with this prefix. So let's go ahead and continue with that in mind. We can go to the shin bone and do the same thing. Feel free to rename it from the attribute editor if you'd like. So that's going to be bind underscore L underscore shin 01. All right, sweet. So that brings us to the toes. Starting with the front toe, we can name this something along the lines of bind L toe underscore FT for front 01. Let's go ahead and copy this name so we can rename its end joint. We will not skin to our end joint because it's not necessary, right? So with that being said, let's say we go ahead and paste the name of our toe bone, and instead of bind, we'll use BE as our prefix for bone end. Sweet. All right, so we can do the same thing for the rear toe. Let's go ahead and paste in our name, and instead of FT, that's going to be BK for back. Let's hit enter to set the name, and now we can go ahead and copy that name and rename the end joint. So we'll go ahead and paste, and we'll change our prefix to BE. Wonderful. So it's as simple as that. We've managed to organize our scene even further by coming up with a very clear naming convention. Super exciting. Well, that's going to finish out this lesson. In the next lesson, we'll learn how to mirror joints.